Greetings, salutations, respect, and love. I am Scott. Welcome to the Prog Corner, where we are going through Tangent Week. Oh, yeah, yesterday I posted my interview with the great Andy Tillison. Today we are reviewing their brand new album, To Follow Polaris. And then tomorrow I'm going to be ranking all 13 Tangent albums. I love the Tangent. These guys were formed in 2002 up there in Northern England. Andy Tillison was in a band called Parallel or 90 Degrees, and he wanted to do a solo album, which kind of morphed into a super group where he had three members of his band, himself, Guy Manning, and Sam Bain. Three members of the Flower Kings, Andy Tillison, Jonas Reingold, and Zoltan Sorsch on drums. And then you round it all off with David Jackson from Vandergraaf Generator, who lasted exactly one album and was replaced by Theo Travis. But yeah, so it started as a solo album, turned into a supergroup, and now it's just an ongoing concern where he's had a lot of different members. I think there have been like 35 different members of the Tangent over the years, but the lineup has settled down over the last few albums. So it is a little weird that we're getting this album, and it's nothing but Andy Tillison. Yeah, man. If you know anything about the Tangent, you've probably heard that this album here is nothing but Andy on everything. He plays all the instruments, he does all the vocals, he wrote all the songs, he did the mixing, he did the mastering, and he even did the artwork, which is kind of cool. This thing comes out on Inside Out May 10th. So yeah, I'm real early. Andy gave me files to this record like 9 months ago. So I've been chomping at the bit for 9 months to talk to you fools about this. It is just a dynamite record. And it starts off with the song that was released as the single. I think the radio edit was like 4 minutes long. The actual version of the song is 11 minutes, and it's called The North Sky. And I had a couple people comment to me that they weren't crazy about this first single. Well, hey, that's the radio edit, man. That whole middle section on this song is great. Anyway, this song is cool, man. I don't care what anybody says. What a great opening track. Kind of makes me think of A Spark in the Ether, how that album opened up with just such a great, rousing track. This one here kind of starts out with some weird glitchy kind of percussion sounds, and then it totally goes into a full-blown John Lord and Deep Purple kind of thing. It's just awesome. And then Andy's Sawtooth Keyboards comes in, and you know it's the Tangent. The Pleiades are blurry, so stay unfocused and they'll all spring into view. The concept here is Andy was looking for absolute truth in this world. You know, there's flat earthers out there, man. We can't even agree if the earth is round or not. So he was looking for an absolute truth in this world, and he found it in the North Star. The only thing that we can all agree on is when you look at the North Star, yeah, that's due north. So yeah, obviously he always infuses a lot of politics into what he's doing, but don't get that twisted, man. This is a guy with a passion, and if you don't agree with his politics, that's fine. He cares. He actually means what he's saying, and I appreciate truth and honesty in all art. Yeah, I mentioned that instrumental section in this track. Just brilliant, really cool. Andy plays all the instruments. He not only plays bass, drum, guitar, vocals, keyboards, like a regular rock band, but he also plays flute and sax, and I think he's even playing a trumpet later on in this album. Just awesome. And when did Andy become a shredder, right, man? I'm listening to this track and a couple others where he's laying down some pretty cool solos, and I'm thinking, is Andy lying to us? Did he let Luke Manchin into the studio? Well, I don't think so. Next up is a song called A Like in the Darkness. This is 8 minutes and 20 seconds, and it serves as a nice little rest after a real frenetic opening. It starts with an electric piano in D minor playing like some real dissonant kind of stuff, kind of off-putting, throwing you off, making you think it's a little spooky and dark and mysterious. Absolutely. The bass sound here is just so deep and brooding. You know that's not Jonas Reingold. It's languid, it's fluid, it kind of floats, ethereal, atmospheric. You go through that section, then you get a really weird breathing section where there's really nothing going on except you hear, Andy playing around with the stops on his saxophone. It's pretty cool. Acoustic guitar comes in, and then you get more flute, and then you get some noisy guitar. A lot of craziness going on in this song. It's cool. I like it. You don't know where it's going to go. Basically, this song is about Andy being alone at night in his studio and, thinking about the little light in his studio going out in the world. And, will anybody see it? It's a metaphor for the music that he's writing, obviously. He calls himself a curator of observations on this song, and I think that's pretty accurate. Andy is kind of like our social conscience in the prog world. This song has a definite, strong autobiographical bend to it, and I like that about Andy. He's not afraid to share his thoughts and feelings. Next up is another 8-minute song called The Fine Line. Andy dropped this last year on his YouTube channel, so I knew this track already before he even sent me the files, so this is an old one. Real delicate, pretty melody. We're in F sharp major here. It's got kind of a Canterbury swing, which is nice. Andy's drumming is actually really good. He's got a good feel here. Yeah, nobody's gonna compare him to Mike Portnoy or, Neil Peart or anything, but he's doing a great job here. This song here is built on one motif, and it runs all the way through. It's a motif-built song, real lighthearted. I really enjoy how Andy's using the building blocks of that motif all the way through the song and different instruments. But the lyrics here are fun. This is a great song. We don't need a war on woke or anything else, he sings. Then he's talking about this cat with his cup of coffee on his desktop and a gas mask in the drawer. And he's always been fascinated with technology and office culture for some reason. I mean, I doubt Andy's ever worked in an office a day in his life, but he's always singing about it like he knows something about it. So I might be wrong about that. And then at the 4-minute mark, there's a real cool keyboard solo here. Kind of sounds like a guitar. It's awesome. I really like it. There's brass patches throughout this, which is cool because it augments the trumpet Andy's playing. Just a cool track. I really enjoy it. But then, there's only one king of the epics, my friends. It's not Yes. It's not Neil Morse. It's not Royna Stult. It is Andy Tillison, and on this record, he drops his 24th epic. Just with the tangent, 24 epics, and this one here might be his best epic yet. It's called The Anachronism. It's 21 minutes long, and this song has everything you want from a tangent song. Every single component of what makes them great is right here. You've got the symphonic prog a la Yes. You've got, some glitchy stuff and some jungle drum and bass kind of feels. Obviously, you got plenty of Canterbury feel throughout this track. You've got some metally, heavy sound and stuff. You got some punk on here, and of course, plenty of prog. The punk section definitely kind of ties into a few steps down the wrong road off of the Slow Rust from Forgotten Machinery. This song does kind of serve as a sequel to that track, and I just love how Andy is playing homage to all the greats on here. You hear elements of Rick Wakeman. You hear elements of Keith Emerson. Nothing new there, but actually there's some Tony Banksisms going on here, and that is new for Andy. I don't hear a lot of Genesis in the tangent. Here you hear a little bit about it. I would have called this song The X. I'm just going to tell you that right now, Andy. The Anachronism's fine. It's hard to say. I think this song should have been called The X. The whole idea is about voting and how they use democracy to try to control people. And then Andy's talking about democracy's failed us. Autocracy sucks. Kleptocracy's a ripoff. Theocracy's not a good idea. Those are the lyrics. It's awesome. This song goes through so many changes. It stays primarily in E, so there's great discipline there. Yeah, even though he goes off to some different key signatures. Briefly, he always goes back to E minor, and then you get to the beautiful ending outro section of this song, where one of my favorite things in the world is the riff that uses an octave. Well, I'm going with the riff that uses the perfect fifth here, and when Andy's singing in the north sky, and then his keyboard is playing AE, in the north sky, then it toggles down to GD, that perfect fifth, man. I just love it. So good, so awesome, because the whole song you're kind of playing around in E, so you move over to this friendlier key signature, and it just sounds so good. The Anachronism, a beautiful track, one of the best epics you're ever going to hear. Certainly one of the best epics you're going to hear in 2024, that's for sure. Next up is a song that I had not heard. Those were the 4 tracks that Andy had sent me like 9 months ago, but there is a couple other tracks on this record. Next up is a song called The Single. It's 5 minutes and 52 seconds long. And this is an old track that Andy brought up from The Time Capsule. Yeah, his third album with Parallel and 90 Degrees was called The Time Capsule. And a song off of that was called The Single. And here we go. It's a brand new version of that song. Andy kind of told me that this song was like the template for the Tangent sound. Parallel or 90 Degrees was kind of more like a porcupine-y, tree-y kind of thing, you know? So this, Andy said, was kind of the thing that pointed him in the direction of the Tangent, what the Tangent would be. Song was written in 1997, so the lyrics, when they're talking about echo chambers and my deity has more likes than yours, clearly this is a reworking. That stuff was not in the original, but some of the lyrical content definitely sounds 1997, and Andy's talking about a pen and paper and a CDR. That just totally sounds like 1997 to me. And then you've got the middle section, which is just a really weird diversion into Emerson, Lake and Palmer territory, which is great. It's really ironic because this song is called The Single. So you throw in the most unsingle-like thing possible, which is a 2-minute prog freak out instrumental section. The lyrics are talking about how, you know, songs need to be short so that the programmers could put the news and the weather and the sports and all that stuff into the radio programming. Really, really cool song. And then next up, you've got the North Sky radio edit, which is like 3 minutes long. And it just gives you the highlights of the opening track. But, you know, usually radio edits are ridiculous on albums. I don't like them for 2 reasons. One, I've already heard the song, and I like the longer version better. So why are you giving me a crappier, shorter version? And, you know, for a radio edit, what radio station's going to play the Tangent? I don't understand. But in this case, I will make an exception. I actually like how this radio edit flows into song sequencing here. It totally makes sense to me. I kind of like it. And then finally, Andy likes to throw stuff out there. And this time he's got this weird 17-minute long instrumental jam, this jazzy improv thing called Tea at Betty's Simulation, or I don't know about Tea at Betty's, something like that. Smoky jazz, kind of free jazz. You got fake applause after all the solos, like you're in a jazz club or something. Andy's guitar soloing sounds great here. He gets a Hammond organ solo, and then he does a trumpet solo. And then you get a real cool prog middle section with classical chord progressions. And then a little jungle drum and bass section. Then we go back to that jazzy thing that started it out. It's a pretty cool addition, but it's a bonus track, so I'm kind of not looking at that when determining my score, which will be, what's my score going to be for this phenomenal album by The Tangent? Well, it's not my favorite album by The Tangent, but it's really, really close, man. I'm not going to give nothing away because tomorrow we are going to be ranking it, but my score on this bad boy is a very hearty, very healthy 9.5 out of 10. This thing is awesome. If you like The Tangent, you'll love this. Don't be scared off that it's all Andy. Don't be scared off that he's getting more and more political with each passing day. The times call for that, man. We need somebody to be angry about things that are going on in this world. I'm tired of all the complacency and the pie in the sky, myopic thinking. You know, back in the 80s, man, punk bands were always getting angry about stuff and writing songs about how much they hated Ronald Reagan or Margaret Thatcher or whatever. It was ridiculous, but it was pure, it was honest, it was absolutely what they wanted to do. Andy is a breath of fresh air in that he is not he's not afraid to allow his inner thoughts to come out on vinyl, and that's what we love about Andy. Andy, you are my North Star. I know you need to look at the sky to feel grounded and to find some kind of moral compass, but I'm telling you, Andy Tillison is my spirit animal. He is my North Star. He will never let you down. He's put up 13 albums as The Tangent, and they're all good. So once again, what's my score here? I'm giving this sucker 9.5 out of 10. It's just awesome. Anyway, tomorrow I will be ranking all the Tangent albums, all 13 of them. They're so good. Every one of them is just dynamite. There's not a clunker in the bunch. I'm having a really hard time trying to figure out what's going to be in number 13. I have no idea. Anyway, peace in the Middle East, free Tibet, God save the king, save King Tucky, he needs your saving right now, yes he does, that boy's got the cancer, and he needs to come to America and get himself all healed up, yes, we got them good doctoring people gonna fix him right up, and then we got some good prayer warriors out there gonna say some prayers, and we're gonna lay some hands on that boy, yes we are, lay hands on him, yes, say some prayers, spells and incantations, and then we're gonna dance with the snakes. Yeah, we're gonna do some dancing with snakes and drinking some poison, and at the end, yeah, King Chucky will be just fine, and England will rise again with great bands like the Tangent. I kind of halfways believe that. Anyway, punks, I'll see you tomorrow when we rank all 13 of the Tangent's albums. Until then, chef's kiss, peace.